everyone, this is Jeff. This is a tutorial on how to do rotoscoping so that you can have foreground images in front of your graphics. This is, of course, within the module of how to make visualizations of augmented reality. And sometimes you're going to need to have graphics behind things as opposed to in front of things. So essentially, that's what this tutorial is going to do. So in order to model that, I made another project, a speculative project. This is a kind of virtual spirograph that draws in three-dimensional space and responds to gestural interfaces. And so this is what I've got so far. You have these drawings on that kind of hover over the iPad, and they're in 3 dimensions. And then, of course, if you wave your hand, that will spin them. And these are graphics that I all added to some existing footage and used the track camera function, this track camera function, to basically add in, that will turn all this into a 3-dimensional interface. So I had to cut out my hand so it could be in front of these graphics because without this hand kind of cut out and isolated there, essentially the graphics goes underneath them, and that is not nearly as interesting. So I'm going to show you how to basically rotoscope so you can integrate your hand or some other thing into the foreground of other graphics. Okay, so this is where this project is before we have done the rotoscoping, and it looks quite cool. I've put in those animations through camera tracking in the tracker panel. And the problem is that my hand is behind them. So this is how we solve that problem. So the first thing I really need to do is this bottom layer here is the movie. That's the video that I first shot. So I'm just going to simply Command D duplicate it. So now I have 2 movies. And I'm going to go ahead and take one of these and put it up on top. Now, that basically hides everything beneath it. And so what we're going to do is we need to basically isolate my hand right here from about 8 seconds to 10 seconds. 8 seconds to 10 seconds. So in order to do that, you don't do that in the composition panel, you do it to the actual footage. So this particular layer, the new layer that I have, and by the way, I just duplicated it, so let's get rid of all the effects in there. So I'm going to delete the effects. That got rid of all the track camera details. And so now that this is kind of a blank version of that video, I'm going to double click it, and that's going to open up this footage in the canvas, in the composition viewer. So we're looking for right up here this is the Roto Brush tool. And the Roto Brush tool works very similar to how the quick selection tool does in Photoshop, which we covered at the very beginning of the class. So first thing, I'm going to scoot forward just so we have my hand. And so how it works is the Roto Brush tool, if I draw on my hand, it's going to select it, and you can see that it uses this pink outline. It doesn't do it perfectly. So if I hold down Option on a Mac or Alt on a PC, I get a red dot, and I can get rid of these things. And then green, holding nothing, we'll get that. Hold down Alt or Option, we'll get red. And this essentially starts to show what is being selected and what not being selected. So I can move back here, and you just move to different parts of this. Now, an important thing also is here is before the hand shows up entirely. So if I start by holding down Option and just kind of scribble on this, that's going to like get rid of, see there's naturally a pink outline. That's just going to get rid of all this footage before the hand comes in. And I'm just kind of popping about every second. It's a short little video, so it will take no time. Of course, I could always just trim it, but I'm just trying to show you how the Rotos brush works. I think I've just about gotten rid of all of it. So if I kind of hop through, I don't see a pink outline. The roto brush has gotten rid of all that footage. It's not covered in pink. And to show you how what's here and what's not, there's the toggle alpha, and alpha is the transparency. So this is just like in Photoshop, where you make a layer mask and white keeps the image and black gets rid of it. So here we go, and you can see I have the alpha on, and you can see it's already taking care of my hand, and more that I need to do. So I'm going to toggle that off, and I'm going to sit here and hold down Option and scribble out anything that's not my hand, and then color in anything that is. And I'm just going to go through every couple of frames, because it will follow my hand, but it's not perfect. So I'm going to get rid of that and add all that. Go forward a bit. That's pretty good. I'm actually not going to be too detail oriented now, because one, the hand is not over where the graphics are. This I think we need to take care of. So here I'm going to put green onto my hand, and then hold down Alt or Option. It's going to be pretty close. And you see it's kind of, I'm waiting here. Oh, so actually that, my hand is already gone, so let's just get rid of this and see if we missed anything. Not the best selection, I can improve that. Let's add some of those fingers, add that thumb. Clearly that got me in deeper trouble, so I need to go in with Alt/Option and get rid of the over selection. That's looking pretty good. So if you kind of go through every couple of frames, it will isolate this hand. And it's not perfect, but I think it's pretty good. And I'm going to go ahead and show this. And then, now that I've kind of got it isolated, I'll go back to my composition. And you can see that it has composited my hand in front of those graphics.